college basketball legend Dick Vitale joins me this morning. Coach Vitale, I'm so glad to have you on, and thank you for coming on this morning. With the transfer rule coming in, if you've noticed that Coach Cal has kind of drastically changed with, of course, the G League coming into play, and then the one-and-done rule looking like that it's on its way to an end. Coach Cal this year has significantly changed his approach to recruiting four transfers coming in, four high-level transfers in hopes of turning Kentucky into a Final Four and hopefully a national championship team here in Lexington. First of all, what is your thoughts, or what are your thoughts on the transfer rule and the ability to switch players? Do you think that's good for college basketball?
Angelo, you're talking to a guy that absolutely thinks it's a disgrace. I think it's a joke. I think it's embarrassing, the whole college game. There's no stability whatsoever. It's total chaos. We're teaching kids loyalty means nothing. Loyalty means nothing. Play 3 years at a school, you dominate, you play really well, you're not a kid that's not getting playing time, and immediately say, bye-bye, coach, I got a better, greener pasture. That's not life. That's not life. Life is, dealing with tough times too. What about teaching people not to just pack up and go elsewhere, just keep moving on and moving on? We got some kids that have been in 4 schools. 4 schools. Give me a break. Is that what college is about? Is that what life is about? What about life skills? I have a problem with that. I think the transfer portal has created the biggest chaos I've ever seen in my 43 years at ESPN. And I'm writing a new book. In fact, the book will be coming out probably in September, October. It's all about the evolution of the game, how it's changed over my 43 years. You factor that in, you think about that chaos. Now you're going to have also the major situation with the NIL. I mean, coaches today, they may say something publicly a lot different what they feel on the insides, because many of them don't want to offend recruits who they're chasing. So they say the right things for the paper, but down deep, I know a lot of coaches I've talked to are very frustrated about the whole deal. I mean, you come in, you want to coach, you want to motivate kids, inspire kids about school. Now you got to worry about who's going to get what kid's going to get more money than the other kid, what kid's going to. I mean, it is just total chaos. I believe players should. I want to make this very clear. I have no problem with players getting money for endorsements and for signing autographs and speaking at banquets. But this thing is going to be unreal how it's going to function. And obviously the big-time programs, Kentucky will benefit from it a lot better than the mid-major. I have a problem also. As a mid-major school out there, if you got a great player that the big guys didn't want, and all of a sudden he comes to school as a freshman and sophomore, and he does exceptionally well, you can guarantee that kid is gone. Because somehow, some way, coaches, see what's going on behind the scenes, a lot of people don't see. Coaches, through their contacts and through the people they know, word gets out, hey, if you put your name in a portal, I can tell you this school X is going to come after you, and I just don't think it's healthy at all. I really don't. I'll stick to that theory and that feeling till I die. I really believe that. I think it's the worst thing that's happened in college basketball. Sitting out, if you want to transfer, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. Sometimes a transfer is the positive thing. But what's wrong sitting out a year and now getting refreshed and really working on your game, working on your academics, and then you come back and you become a super player? Nothing wrong with that. But gee whiz, with the fact that now you don't have to sit the year, you're eligible right away, I'm telling you, this is creating chaos. I can see coaches, frustration like crazy. You put a kid on the bench, kid's a 7th, 8th man, word comes out, hey, you come with us, you'll start. That kid, you look at him the wrong way, man, in a locker room, he's gone the next day. He's gone.
Coach Vitale, I completely agree with you about one thing that you just said. You stole the words out of my mouth, is that when it comes down to these lower programs, when it comes down to your Liberties or your Davidsons or your mid-tier college programs, if you have a coach and you have a program that is really good at developing these young players coming out of high school, it's essentially going to be a minor league or a feeding ground to the major programs up top. I can absolutely see where you're coming from in that instance.
No doubt about it. When I coached University of Detroit, we had a hell of a team. We won 21 in a row. My last year, we beat Marquette at their court, and they won the national championship 2 months after we had beaten them. We had beaten Michigan State. We had beaten Arizona. We were good. I had 3 guys who went on to play in the NBA. I will guarantee you, if it was the current situation when they were sophomores, my guys, Tyler, Long, Durod, they would have all been gone to Michigan, Notre Dame, Michigan State, etc. It is absolutely sad what this has happened. And the NCAA, some of the rules just been archaic. They've been really crazy. I have a problem also with the NCAA, with the scenario with penalties in terms of looking at schools that have been accused of cheating, schools have been accused of violating rules, and taking years to make decisions. We get some cases where it's like 4 or 5 years, and they still haven't made a decision whether they're guilty or not guilty. I mean, come on. It takes 4 or 5 years? Give me a break. If you can't make a decision in a year, you get me started on this, because I'm telling you, I read the whole book about this. With Dick Weiss about a New York area.
Oh, yeah, we've had him on.
Weiss, he did a book one time with Calipari as well. But I love the game so much. I really do. And I love young people. And I think we're hurting young people along the way. Let me think of this, okay? Nobody talks about a scenario like this. You go to a school. If you stay there 4 years, you're developing relationships. You're developing people that you're getting to know, alumni, people in key positions that can help you later in life. That is gone. You're there 1 year, you're gone. Another school. There's no development in terms of life skills, and I think that's sad in a way. Sad. I mean, hey, think about it. I work at ESPN. I just can't get up and leave now. Sometimes you got to be. I can't get up and leave and just go anywhere I want. I'm under contract. You think about guys in the NBA, other than the superstars they're the exceptions. They scream and yell, I want to be traded, I want to get out of here, and eventually they got to get rid of them to get something back for them. But 90% of the players sign a contract. They just can't get up and go. You got total free agency going on now in college basketball, where kids just run wherever they want. I mean, I can understand when the rule was put in, the rule Angelo was put in basically to help the kid that didn't get off the bench and maybe let him transfer and be eligible right away. Nobody thought it would get to the point where kids average 20 points a game at schools, kids are stars at schools, and they move on. So it's really, really sad. And you mentioned Kentucky certainly has benefited big time because kids want to play. It's such a great program. It's a program with a great tradition. You got kids now, you're talking about Grady coming from Davidson, solid player. You're talking about Frederick, who can shoot the ball really well, coming from Iowa. Shibwe, the kid, Shibwe, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Shibwe from West Virginia,
tell me,
yes.
Angelo, how do you pronounce his name?
That Shibwe was correct. You hit it on the head.
Yeah, Shibwe coming from West Virginia, strong inside player. He's going to help them big time. You get Wheeler. I mean, Wheeler's in the case. I mean, he led the conference in assists. He averaged double figures. He got all kinds of playing time. And then all of a sudden, now not only transfers, goes to a school that competes with the school's conference where he's from. And it's really crazy out there. It's absolutely violates everything I believe in. I believe so much in loyalty, man. I've been 43 years at ESPN. They treat me well. They love me. I love them. And we've been together. I mean, just to get up and go when you're doing well just blows my mind.
Coach, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate your time this morning and how I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to try to have you, as long as you're willing to come back on whenever your book comes out and you need to promote your book, you come on. We'll talk a little more as we get closer to the season.
One last thing before I run, buddy. Make sure you tell your people in Kentucky, John Calipari's helped us big time over the years. I raised a lot of money for kids battling cancer. That means more to me than anything. People can go to dickvitale.com. You can make a donation, or you can get my latest books I have. You can get my basketballs, hats, T-shirts. Every dollar that I would make, every dollar, is going for pediatric cancer. We have raised so far $44 million thus far for kids battling cancer, and it's not enough. So people, please, if you have some kids out there and kids you love, you never know when that disease hits. So I beg you to go to dickvitale.com. Every dollar you donate goes to the V Foundation for kids battling cancer. It's just dickvitale.com.
Coach, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for the philanthropic work that you do, and thank you for coming on. You're a legend of the game, and we always appreciate you I always appreciate having you on, especially during this time of the year. Thank you, Coach, and we will talk soon. Okay,
buddy. I appreciate it, Angelo. I'll tell you one thing: the Cats fans are going to be excited this year. Calipari can't wait after last year. He's chomping at the bit to get that club on the floor. Because I'm telling you what. I'll be shocked if they're not right up there battling for a national title.
Coach Vitale, do you want to claim it now that they are the favorites to win the national title in 2021? You can say it right now if you want.
Favorite right now, but I'll say certainly right there in the hunt. They're going to be right up there with teams like Gonzaga again, UCLA, Villanova. Those teams will be right up there, and certainly Kentucky's going to be right in the hunt. But I'll tell you this. The SEC's not going to be Cupcake City, man. Oh, wow. When you look at Auburn, you look at LSU, you take a look at Tennessee, Arkansas, Florida's always competitive. I'm telling you one thing, that conference is going to be tough, tough, tough. Another thing, don't get me started about teams leaving, conferences going crazy.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Oklahoma and Texas?
I mean, it's crazy out there in college hoops and college sports.
Coach, just one final point. Exactly like you said, ever since the SEC network came into play, the conference in college basketball, from what I grew up with in the 2000s to now, it's received a major facelift, and they just took two of the best. The Big 12 has formed in to arguably the best conference in college basketball over the last half decade, and now they're losing two of the flagship teams that they've had there. So, Coach, you're completely right about that. Everybody go to dickvitale.com to donate, and you can check out his other books there. Like he said, coming out with a book probably in September. dickvitale.com. Coach Vitale, thank you so much for coming on with me this morning.
Take care, buddy.